President addresses nation following elections violence. Quarantine man latest road accident victim. U.S. Secretary of State calls for democratic transition in Guyana. Local businessmen caught in New York after 12 years on the run. In the region, Trinidad's opposition leader to sue health minister over H1N1 claims. And internationally, international markets tumble over oil and COVID-19 fears. Greetings and welcome to this edition of Headline News Update. I am George Gonzalez. Thank you for joining us. This morning, the Guyana Police Force released wanted bulletins for 2 murder suspects. Here's more. This morning, the Guyana Police Force issued a wanted bulletin for 25-year-old John France of Lot 20, Section A, Friendship, Buxton, East Coast, Demerara. He is wanted in connection to the murder of Daniel Akeem Amor on March 1st of this year. He is accused of murdering Amor during a heated argument in Buxton, East Coast, Demerara. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of John France of Lot 20, Section A, Friendship, Buxton, East Coast, Demerara is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 226-6978, 617-9660, 911, or your nearest police station. Also, Daniel McLennan, also known as Dutty, of Lot 153, 3rd Street, Swamp Section, Rose Hall, Quarantine, Berbice, is wanted by the police for questioning in relation to murder. He is wanted in connection to the murder of popular Berbice businessman Lamenzo Johnny between the 26th of February and 27th of February 2020 at Port Morant, Quarantine, Berbice. Johnny's battered body was found at a construction site near to his home, and anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Daniel McLennan, also known as Dutty, of Lot 153, 3rd Street, Swamp Section, Rose Hall, Quarantine, Berbice, is asked to contact the police on telephone numbers 226-6978, 911, or your nearest police station. All information will be treated with the strictest confidence. Just days after serving as an elections observer for the Private Sector Commission, one local businessman was arrested in New York City's JFK airport. Esther Sobers brings us that story.
On Monday, local businessman Gail Khan was arrested shortly after landing at the John F. Kennedy. Khan was also a local observer for the election representing the Private Sector Commission. In 2008, Khan was wanted in the U.S. for drug trafficking charges. He was granted bail but escaped to Guyana and never returned to the U.S. to face his trial. An arrest warrant was issued for him since 2008, and he has been on the run for the past 12 years. Also in 2009, Khan faced drug trafficking charges in Guyana as he was found with 3.4 kilograms of coke possessions. Whilst living in Guyana, Khan was also in charge of a security company in Guyana and serving as a public relations officer and later the secretary of Guyana Association of Private Security Organizations. Khan is expected to make his court appearance in a New York court. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. In other Diaspora news, on Monday morning, a Guyanese woman was reportedly shot by her husband, who later committed suicide in a parked vehicle in Starrett City, Brooklyn, New York City. The dead woman has been identified as 39-year-old Petula Myrtle. The suspect was Andre Myrtle. Based on reports carried by New York Daily News, the victim was shot multiple times while her husband died of a single gunshot wound to his head. The couple reportedly lived at East Flatbush, about 2 miles from the crime scene, with their 2 young children. The report further stated that the couple was rushed to the Brookdale University Hospital, where they were pronounced dead on arrival. Coming up after the break, Prime Minister denounces secession plot, and U.S. Secretary of State calls for democratic transition in Guyana.
For that reliable, prudent, and courteous traveling experience, your choice is G3 Cabs, located at 228-229 Aubrey Barker Road and Beverly Close, South Rentville Gardens. Travel in comfort and safety with our deluxe fleet of new vehicles and neatly trimmed drivers serving our customers around Georgetown. We deliver cooking gas, small packages, run errands, and provide minor vehicular roadside assistance such as jump starts of vehicles, flat tires, spare wheel assistance, and more. Contact us on 218-4982 or 218-4500. G3 Cabs. You can count on us.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. 65 and 55 inches high-stand 4K smart TVs. Samsung French door fridges. Black & Decker appliances, queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses. German-made pressure pots in 5 to 9 liters. 12-piece pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans. Samsung smart stoves. Canadian-made 3-piece recliner sofa sets. Air fryers and Hamilton Beach hot and cold water dispenser.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babe? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Welcome back. Following the breakdown of law and order that occurred after the stalling of the general and regional elections, President David Granger addressed the nation regarding the issue. On Monday, President David Granger addressed the nation regarding the ongoing general and regional elections. According to the president, he recognizes the gridlock, but assured the nation that he did nothing to affect the voting and tabulation process.
I assure the nation that, at all times, I have acted in accordance with the Constitution and laws of Guyana. On the 2nd of March, after the elections, the nation awaited the declaration of the results by the Elections Commission after completing its work. GCOM is an independent constitutional agency over which I and the executive have no control. I assure you that, as president, I cannot, did not, and will not interfere in the work of GCOM.
The president went on to place the blame squarely at the foot of the PPPC.
The opposition created an atmosphere of intimidation and fear at the office of the returning officer of District Number 4. This led to the interruption of GCOM's work. The opposition then approached the Supreme Court, seeking to prevent GCOM from making a declaration of the final results. That matter is now before the Chief Justice.
He went further to recognize the violence that has occurred in Guyana since voting day and accused the PPP of disseminating a false narrative. Nevertheless, he called for peace and unity during this tense time.
Guyanese, I appeal to you to remain calm and not to engage in any activity which can lead to the heightening of tensions in society. I urge you to go about your business in a peaceful manner. Some damage has already been done to social relations in our communities. We must repair that damage.
President Granger finally called on persons to continue to remain calm and to allow GCOM to finish its job. On Tuesday, the People's Progressive Party responded to the president's address, saying, quote, "The statement made by the APNU AFC coalition's David Granger is unsurprisingly typical of what Guyanese have come to expect from him. Claims about upholding the rule of law when the judiciary has found him in violation of the Constitution and laws more times than any other president in the history of Guyana, and attempts to cast blame on the People's Progressive Party, PPP. The statement went on to accuse the president of being dishonest in several matters. However, the party maintained that there must be a return to the process of verifying the results of the March 2nd, 2020 general and regional elections for Region 4 using the statements of polls and or a recount of the ballots cast. Currently, the High Court is deliberating on the issue. Police are currently investigating a fatal hit-and-run accident in Quarantine over the weekend. Esther Sobers has that story.
Police are currently investigating a hit-and-run accident that claimed the life of a 25-year-old resident of Fingal Street, Rose Hall Town, Quarantine. On Saturday evening at around 11 p.m., Sean Smith was found along the Letterkenny Public Road in an unconscious state. He reportedly had injuries to his face and about his body. The driver had initially ran from the scene but later surrendered to the police. Smith was taken to the Portman Run Public Hospital, where he subsequently succumbed to his injuries while receiving medical treatment. A motorcycle, CK2517, which was found at the scene with damage to the front and other parts, has since been lodged at the Wim Police Station. For Channel 2 Headline News, Esther Sobers.
Thanks, Esther. American Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has recently added his voice to the growing body of local and foreign entities calling for, quote, a democratic transition in Guyana. Here's more. The government of the United States is continuing to monitor the progress of Guyana's March 2nd general and regional elections. And on Monday, another U.S. official has spoken on the elections. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo tweeted that he spoke with the Deputy Prime Minister of Canada, Chrystia Freeland, about, quote, support for democratic transition in Guyana. He said, quote, he spoke today with Canadian Deputy Prime Minister to discuss the crisis in Venezuela, the COVID-19 outbreak, support for democratic transition in Guyana, and the importance of continued strong OAS leadership on democracy and human rights. Secretary Pompeo is just the latest in a series of foreign and local entities that are calling for a proper resolution to Guyana's elections following recent allegations of irregularities during the tabulation process at the Guyana Elections Commission for Region 4. Today, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu released a statement denouncing what he calls a, quote, racist, neo-fascist, and treasonous plot to shut down the country and to cause widespread acts of terrorism and economic sabotage, end quote. According to the Prime Minister, the group is a PPP front group operating on Facebook, and the Facebook posts from the group call for the PPPC to, quote, take control over all 6 regions they won, end quote. This plan also aims at isolating and starving the people of Georgetown by calling for a closure of businesses and an end to agricultural shipments to town. He then called on the Guyanese people and the PPP to denounce this plot immediately. Don't go away. After the break, we have your regional and international news.
Hurry down to Zasco on 15 North Road between Camp and Wellington Streets. Quality products at low cost for every room in your home. 65 and 55 inches high-stand 4K smart TVs. Samsung French door fridges. Black & Decker appliances, queen and king size Canadian-made mattresses. German-made pressure pots in 5 to 9 liters. 12-piece pot sets, knife sets, cutlery sets and pans, commercial fans. Samsung smart stoves. Canadian-made 3-piece recliner sofa sets. Air fryers and Hamilton Beach hot and cold water dispenser.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you have a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
For that reliable, prudent, and courteous traveling experience, your choice is G3 Cabs, located at 228-229 Aubrey Barker Road and Beverly Close, South Renfrew Gardens. Travel in comfort and safety with our deluxe fleet of new vehicles and neatly trimmed drivers serving our customers around Georgetown. We deliver cooking gas, small packages, run errands, and provide minor vehicular roadside assistance such as jump starts of vehicles, flat tires, spare wheel assistance, and more. Contact us on 218-4982 or 218-4500. G3 Cabs. You can count on us.
Welcome back. Now we take a look at news from the region. Trinidad and Tobago's opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisesar has filed legal action in the country's high court against the island's health minister Terence Dillasing in relation to claims that she engaged in a cover-up of actual swine flu statistics. Last November, Dillasing on a political platform alleged that Prasad Bisesar instructed public officials to hide data regarding H1N1 related deaths for the period of 2013 to 15. On Monday, Ms. Prasad Bisesar revealed that she has decided to move forward with the legal action against the health minister. She is claiming for aggravated damages, exemplary damages, and costs over the statement made by the Minister of Health. And internationally, a massive sell-off was witnessed in stock markets across Asia, and billions of dollars have been wiped off European markets just hours after opening. The day has been dubbed Black Monday by some analysts. Investors have been reacting not only to the coronavirus, but also to failed efforts to stabilize oil prices. Al Jazeera's Alexi O'Brien reports.
Oil prices have fallen by as much as 30%, the steepest drop in almost 30 years, a crisis described as having no equal in oil market history. The market turmoil began when Saudi Arabia, the world's largest oil exporter, started a price war by announcing plans to boost production. That followed Friday's meeting in Vienna by the Organisation of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, or OPEC. Russia refused to join the cartel's plan to reduce production, aimed at countering the decline in demand from China, usually the world's biggest energy consumer, but damaged by the coronavirus crisis.
The Saudis are angry because other countries like Russia are unwilling to participate in oil production cuts. So they're saying, we will show you who the boss is. We can produce at much lower costs and you can't.
But the oil price slump could have widespread consequences beyond hitting already jittery markets. The International Monetary Fund suggests Saudi Arabia needs prices to be at about $80 a barrel to balance its budget. The price fall will also hurt major oil-producing nations Venezuela and Iran, already under pressure from US sanctions. A prolonged price collapse could mean they struggle to fund things like education and healthcare, especially vital during the global coronavirus outbreak.
Unless this spread of virus is controlled and contained, we will not see recovery in the capital markets because it has caused huge damage to the global economy.
America's shale oil industry could also be in trouble. It needs prices to be relatively high to make a profit. Many companies are heavily in debt and may not be able to make repayments, leading to job cuts.
This seems to be the kind of move that Russian leaders might have actually decided was in their interest, that low oil prices is not good for Russia's economy, but if it causes even more pain to the US economy, it might be something that they'd be interested in.
For consumers, though, it could mean less pain at the pump, with the price of petrol expected to fall. Alexia O'Brien, Al Jazeera.
And finally, Wall Street suffered its worst one-day drop since the 2008 financial crisis, with the Dow Jones falling more than 7%. Asian markets are still on edge after Saudi Arabia and Russia failed to agree on an output cut, which sent oil prices plunging by 30%. Al Jazeera's Christian Salumi reports.
From the opening bell, investors were sounding the alarm. A massive stock sell-off amid growing fears that the coronavirus was evolving from a health crisis to an economic one, as more people stay home, cancel trips, and reduce their spending.
Walking around New York today, or even the last few days, one begins to see what is real economic pain to come, which is empty restaurants and empty stores and empty cabs circling looking for business that doesn't seem to be there.
It got so bad that just minutes into trading, a nosedive of 7% on the S&P index triggered an automatic shutdown, temporarily halting trading.
The market stopped for 15 minutes, and what does that do? It gives people a chance to sort of stabilize, get the buyers who are interested involved, sellers interested involved, disengage from the emotionality of panic mode, and try and get a sense of really what's going on.
Markets opened to the news that the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in the U.S. had topped 500, and 8 states had declared a state of emergency, and that oil prices had dropped 30% after some oil-producing countries failed to reach an agreement to reduce production, launching a price war. New York was the last stop on a worldwide wave of selling. All the main European indexes fell by more than 7% after Asian markets also saw sharp declines.
Amid so much uncertainty, the Federal Reserve, which is the U.S. central bank, has promised to make more money available for short-term loans to keep cash flowing through financial markets. Other measures may be under consideration, but so far they haven't been enough to reassure investors that the coronavirus won't sicken the entire economy. Kristen Salumi, Al Jazeera, New York.
Here is your 3-day weather forecast. That's all for this edition of Headline News Update. Tune in Wednesday at 7 p.m. for another episode. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow us on Facebook and YouTube, or visit our website at headlinenewsguyana.com for more news. Until then, take care.